Well, as we open up the show today talking about love, well, that has everything to do with our hearts, right, ladies? Right, ladies?
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
all
Everything to do
about
with
the
the
heart.
heart. 100%.
All about the heart. And it's American Heart Month, right? February. So we are back with Dr. Brooke Stubbs. She's amazing. She is a board certified internal medicine specialist with a master's in nutrition. And she is a plant based boss, okay? So also a wife and a mama. And you're here to share all about how you started your own practice. And I can't wait for you to just share with us more. So good morning from Austin, Texas.
Good morning, ladies. Thank you for having me. I started Rooted Femme with the mission to empower women while we're in our prime to establish the lifestyle habits that really give us the best chance for the longest, healthiest life possible. And I really think it's time that we take control and master our health instead of taking a passive role.
And I love this story of empowerment. Let's start from the top because you really had to step into your own power to make your dream of launching this business come true.
I worked as a hospitalist in the conventional sick care as opposed to healthcare setting. And I really wanted to do something more to keep them from ever having to come to the hospital.
Disease prevention, premature aging, and living a longer life is at the top of the list for your clients. Can you share more about this lifestyle medicine and lifestyle modifications you encourage to change disease outcome?
It is all based on legitimate research about the lifestyle factors that can promote health and longevity. Those 6 pillars are nutrition, exercise, restorative sleep, stress management, cultivating healthy, loving, supportive relationships, and also avoiding toxins. I add oral care and hydration when I talk to my patients to those 6 pillars. And I know how hard it can be to really figure out what we need to be doing for our health with so much conflicting information out there. So that's what I'm here for my patients. I create a really personalized plan based on everybody's individual needs with those pillars in mind.
With heart disease being the leading cause of death in women, share with us some of the foods because I was all up on your Instagram checking you out. You talked about the foods that you really don't like to go without for more than a week. But first, get into the plaque buildup in the arteries.
Right. So this is so important. The majority of atherosclerotic disease, there's your word.
That's it. Yeah.
It causes heart attacks, but strokes too. And majority of it is modifiable. So the culprits of that are foods that are really high in saturated fat. That saturated fat molecule just easily slides into the cell membranes. It stacks up and it makes your cells really rigid. And that's what causes the plaques. And so things like whole milk, butter, cheese, ice cream, bacon, hot dogs.
It's everything I eat all the time.
Yeah, it's really pervasive in the American diet. And so not only those foods, but also some plant oils like palm and coconut oil, all really high in saturated fat, none of them good for your health.
So what are some of the things we can do to naturally reduce our cholesterol?
So I cannot emphasize enough the importance of getting a plethora of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes. And so if you stick to that, then you'll really know that you're doing good things for your health. Additionally, I think we have a misconception of how much protein we need to be in our diet as Americans, and we really focus on animal protein as the mainstay of every meal. So if you could consider maybe cutting that portion of your meal in half and doubling the portion of your vegetables, you'd be really doing something good for your health.
Let's talk about supplements. Of course, they vary based on medical needs, but what should all women be taking, at least at the very minimum?
Before you take a supplement, if you have questions, I suggest you talk to your medical provider. But I will say that a multivitamin is a great backbone for any micronutrient or vitamin that you might be not getting enough of in your diet. Additionally, a lot of Americans are actually deficient in vitamin D, which is great for bone health, but it's also great for your brain health and for your immunity. So that's one I'd really recommend. Then I also take an algae-based omega-3, which is great for heart health. And I take a B12 because I don't eat animal products. Any vegan, somebody who doesn't eat meat needs to have a B12 supplement.
Talk about how people can find you and the lab work testing that you offer as well.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So as a membership-based program, what I'll do is I'll do an initial consultation. We'll go over several assessments and we'll kind of figure out your goals for the process. I'll educate you on some of those lifestyle pillars that I've talked about, and then we will compile a plan. Based on that plan, I'll send off a lab order that will definitely look what's going on inside. And the follow-up visit is when we go over those labs and try and figure out how to fine-tune all of those recommendations.
Dr. Brooke in the white coat. She's like, you guys look so cute in your red. I was like, we want a white coat though. So you won. I love it. Well, are you willing to hang out with us for one more block? We're going to play a little game.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Carmelia Ray is sticking around as well. And coming up next, how to keep track of what's going on with team members, right? And your staff while we're all working from home. Are they doing their jobs? And, oh yeah, here's the game. It's coming up. How do you know when you have officially made it? We're talking about that as well. And the do's and don'ts when dating. We'll be right back.
If you missed last week's episode of The Connect Show, don't fret. Binge watch Netflix style, only on YouTube at Natalie's Network. You see, we're not just creating female-based content. We are handing you the blueprint to success. Every Saturday, catching up close and personal peek with high-influence women on The Connect Show Texas, The Connect Show South Florida, and oh yeah, The Connect Show Twin Cities.